Hello, everybody. This is Dude with the Food here. I hope you all are doing very well. So, today, aside from cooking up a recipe, I thought I'd teach you guys a little bit more about your proper appliance maintenance. And today, I couldn't think of anything better to do than show you guys how to season a cast iron skillet. This is one of your workhorses of the kitchen. It lasts you forever. It's really sturdy, really useful in the kitchens. And today I thought I'd show you guys all how to season it properly to maintain its proper use. Now, I too have been asking myself questions too. What am I doing wrong with seasoning too? But for me today, I found a way that's going to help you guys out and maintain that your cast iron is seasoned and properly ready to use at any time you want to. So the first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to about 450 degrees. You really want a high hot temperature because we're going to be ensuring that that seasoning sticks on to the cast iron much better. So make sure that your oven is nice and hot and ready to go. And then the next thing you want to do is get a little bit of oil inside your skillet. You really want to use a non-saturated fat like vegetable oil, canola oil, safflower oil. Today I'm just using grapeseed oil. You really want to use something with a high smoke point too. You don't want to use something like extra virgin olive oil, otherwise you're just going to burn. And you just want to use a little bit. You don't need too much oil in there. You just need enough to coat the surface of your skillet. Now, some people see, they say to wipe out the outside too, honestly, but today I just thought I'd show you guys again just the inside of it too, because this is a skillet that just needs its inside seasoned right. And then you want to wipe out that oil too to ensure that it almost looks nearly dry, but again, you're still going to see that nice thin layer of oil still inside your skillet, just like so. You want to use something like paper towels to do so. Just like that. Wiping it around, making sure every single surface of your skillet is coated with a little bit of that oil, and now this skillet is ready to go into the oven. And then the next thing I forgot to do, you want to put a baking sheet on the bottom rack of this because we are going to flipping your cast iron skillet upside down when doing this. And you want to make sure that you have something in there to make sure that it's catching all that oil that's dripping out. So the oven is still preheating. Okay, now that our oven is preheated, ready to go, we're just going to take our skillet and we're going to flip it over just like so. Oh my gosh, that thing is heavier than I thought with my left hand, which is my weak hand. But anyway, you're going to put it in upside down, and you're going to put that in the oven, and you're going to let that sit there for 30 minutes. And then while you're waiting for your 30 minutes, you can go ahead and maybe, I don't know, make another cup of coffee like I did. I got 30 minutes to kill. Come on. Now, with this baking cycle, too, when you're doing it in the oven, this is not something that you just have to do one time. This is something you actually have to do 3 or 4 times in this stage, too, because that way, too, it ensures that your seasoning is going to stick on properly. So you want to be repeating this cycle about 3 or 4 times at this point, and I'm going to show you how. So after the first cycle, after 30 minutes or so, I decided to do my little one too, by the way. It is going to get a little smoky, so please be careful when opening the oven. Make sure you have a window open to ensure that all that smoke gets out of your face. So this is the first cycle. It's been about 30 minutes. You're going to probably see a couple of specks inside of your skillet. No, that is not a big deal. It's all going to be wiped away soon. So after a while, this has been the 30-minute thing, so you want to repeat this 3 or 4 more times at this point. Now, as far as cleaning goes, it's still up to debate and everything whether or not to use soap in a skillet or just use salt and everything. I just figure I just keep it traditional and just show you guys how to wash it out with hot water and salt. Because again, I don't know what the actual debate is on everything, but I figure I just do it the old school way, just use salt. So you want to spray in a little bit of hot water in there, get some of it out. The other thing about cast iron too is that you never want to have it soak, otherwise it is going to rust on you. And then you're going to take a little bit of kosher salt, dump that all on there. Now, as far as what kind of brush to use, here I have one of these handy dandy little Lodge brushes too, where it's durable but soft enough where it's not going to damage your pan at all. You really want to use something soft. You don't want to be using something like steel wool or anything hard like that, and you're just going to simply brush it all on. That salt's going to help you get all that stuff scraped off of the skillet too. So this is, again, just my way of doing it. I mean, you could use soap if you want to. I don't know if it's been proven yet, like 100% or not. It's still a debatable thing. But that's the beauty of cast irons, that there's going to be a debate about it no matter what. I like to keep the dialogue going too, so keep it going. So again, just hot water, kosher salt, and a nice, soft yet durable brush. And you're just going to brush all of that on, making sure that salt's scraping up any of those bits at the bottom. And then we're going to be spraying it off again with a little bit more hot water. Just get all that residual salt out of it. You can already see right now it's looking really nice and clean. And then you're going to see as the water drips out, it's already starting to look like that water's not going to be sticking onto it as much as, some pans do. That's a good sign too. That means that your seasoning is properly working on. It's already getting a nice little coating, and then it's going to be ready to go now. So then the next thing that you want to do is you do want to buff this out first with just a little bit of towels right now. You want to make sure that your skillet is bone dry at this point. It's not going to be dry all the way. I'm going to be showing you what to do next after this, but you want to make sure that your inside is dried out as well, just to make sure that it's all, well, dry. So the next thing you want to do is that you want to put your skillet onto a nice high heat. And when doing that, you're actually going to be helping your skillet dry out even further. It's going to take any of that residual moisture out of your pan too, to make sure that your skillet is bone dry. Here, my guy's a little bit in the way. I just move it over, and there we go. And you want to let this set up until it starts to get nice and hot, and everything is all the water is evaporated inside of it. So just give that about a minute or two. And then as soon as that gets nice and dry, the next thing you want to do is you want to put in just a little bit more oil inside of your pan. Here, I'm just going to see how the heat is doing. That is nice and hot. So the next thing you want to be doing is put in just a little bit more oil in there, and you're going to give it one last coating, just like so. You do want to be careful because this is a very hot skillet too, so please be careful when you're doing this as well. I don't want you to hurt yourself, or anybody in general. Just don't hurt people. But anyways, you do want to make sure that your oil is nice and rubbed on again, making sure every single part of your skillet right there is coated in that oil. And then you're going to leave that on your burner for about another minute or two just to ensure that that oil gets latched onto there, that it's going to be ready to go for future use. So just let that sit there for about a minute or two, making sure that your oil gets nice and hot, or your skillet gets nice and hot. Your oil is going to be hot anyway, but yeah, words are hard. But anyway, just like so. And you're making sure that all that seasoning is on there nice and properly, and then it's going to be ready to go for future use, and yeah. So now after a couple of minutes or so, you are going to go ahead, you're going to check it one last time, making sure that it's nice and hot, and then you're going to turn your heat off, and then you're just going to buff out any of that oil that's still left over in the skillet. You don't, again, because if you just let it sit in there like that, it's going to get sticky and it's going to get stuck and everything. And that's the thing that you want to be avoiding too, because we want to make sure that the seasoning, how it works is that it's just going to make sure that none of your food is going to stick to your pan whilst conducting even heat. So that's the beauty of this too. So you want to make sure that some of that oil is wiped out. So now you can take a look here. It looks nice and shiny. It's nice and evenly heated all the way through. And that now it's going to be ready and for future uses for anything you want to use it for. And that is the beauty of cast iron right there. This is why I love using these. I think everyone in a kitchen should have one, and they last forever. So anyways, this is me after a couple of minutes or so letting it cool down. And we're just going to give you a good check here. Look at it in the nice sunlight. Look at that cast iron. It's nice and shiny. It's nice and seasoned properly. It's ready to go for anything you want to use, for sauteing, for frying, for baking, whatever you want to use. Now, as far as maintaining that seasoning on there, the big thing that all you have to do is just keep using your pan, because every time you use your pan, you're just developing nothing more than just extra flavor into your pan. It's going to get even better the more you use it. Here, I'm going to show you guys my favorite skillet. This is Large Marge. This is my cast iron skillet, my first one. I've had her for a couple of years now. I've started developing a new seasoning on it, and it's done nothing but do wonders for me. And anyway, this is just how you all maintain a cast iron seasoning. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. Enjoy and happy cooking from Dude with the Food.